Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Valentine's Day is coming up, and it's a perfect time to create something themed to it. So today, we're going to create a super cute Valentine's Day bookmark featuring an adorable gnome design. This project is perfect for beginners, and by the end of this video, you'll know how to take an SVG file, turn it into a 3D model in Fusion 360, slice it in Bambu Slicer, and print it using multicolor filament. Let's get started. First, you'll need an SVG file of the gnome design. You can find free SVG files on plenty of websites or even create your own using Inkscape, Illustrator, or Affinity Design. For this tutorial, I've already downloaded a Valentine's Day gnome SVG from Becteasy. I'll link the file in the description below so you can follow along. Now, let's open Fusion 360 and create a new design. I've already set up the project and saved the empty file. It's good practice to do that right at the start so you're ready to begin modeling. The first thing we're going to do is create a bookmark clip. We're going to do that by first creating a sketch. I'm going to do that on the top plane. Next, I'm going to do the 2-point rectangle, and I'm going to make this 40 by 80. Next, we're going to create our 4 corners. We're going to choose the fill command, and then click on our corners. All right, now we're going to create the tab. I'm sure there's easier ways to do this, but I'm not a big expert on Fusion, so this is the way that I found the easiest. We're going to do an offset and click on our rectangle here, and we're going to choose 5 millimeters. That creates an inner rectangle here that we're going to use as the tab. Now we're going to create an additional rectangle that we're going to use for the cutout. Let's pick offset again, choose our outer rectangle, and choose 3 as our new offset. Now this inner rectangle is going to be the inner tab. This outer edge is going to be the outer tab. And this inner part here is going to be our hole. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually have to create this hole. The idea here is we're going to join the inner rectangle to the outer rectangle, and when extruding, it will result in a tab. You'll see in a minute. To create this tab, what we're going to do is we're going to be deleting a couple things and then rejoining them. First, we're going to choose this upper rectangle edge and click delete. Next, we're going to choose this upper rectangle edge and click delete on that. What we're also going to do is delete both of these curves. And the same thing on this other side. So now what we want to do is zoom in for a second. And what we want to do is reconnect them. We do that with the line tool. And we do the same thing on this side. And now, if you zoom out again, we have ourselves a tab. Now, just to show you what I'm talking about, what we're going to do is we're going to do a test extrude here. So let's go ahead and hit E. And let's choose our rectangle here. And we're going to be extruding by, let's say, 5 for now. And now you get a better sense of what we were talking about. See? Okay. Now let's go ahead and undo that, because we're not ready to do that yet. Now we're ready to bring in our gnome SVG. But before we do that, let's finish off this sketch, because we want to treat the tab sketch and the gnome sketch as 2 separate entities for now. Finish that up. Now we go to Insert, Insert SVG, Insert from my computer. Do a Valentine's gnome here. We choose the top plane here. And that will bring in our gnome nice and big. Let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit and make sure we get him sized up correctly. That looks about right. Okay. Now that we brought him in, what we want to start doing is extruding. We're going to start off extruding the bottom tab area first. We want to treat these separately because we want to have the gnome appear on both sides. So let's go ahead and hit E for extrude. Choose our tab, just 2 millimeter. Make sure new body is selected here. We go OK. Next, we're going to start extruding pieces of our gnome. And we're going to do this in color order. So we know that the outline here is black. And then there's also those pieces of the beard that are also going to be black. So what we want to do is we want to start choosing them all. So you may have to zoom in a little bit here to be able to select each individual beard piece. And I'm hitting shift to select multiple items at once. I think we're good here. So we're going to hit E for extrude, 2 millimeters. Make sure this is set to new body. And we click OK. And you can start seeing these new bodies show up. And if we rotate, you can see that our gnome is starting to come to life here. One thing Fusion does is it hides the sketches after you do an action. So we want to turn that back on. And we'll go to our next color here. And we're going to do the white pieces first. Go right here, there, and our beard. And then we're going to do extrude again, 2 millimeters. And make sure this is at the new body. I'm going to click OK. Next, we're going to do the areas that are supposed to be red or pink. So we're going to choose this, 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 and this. And we're going to do extrude again, 2 millimeters. And new body. And finally, we have the leg pieces here. Do the same thing. Choose one, choose two, extrude, 2 millimeters. Make sure this is new body. Do OK. Now, we're pretty much finished here in Fusion. Let's go ahead and make sure we save. Always important. And now what we want to do is we want to export this. And I like exporting as a step file. I've had better luck with exporting that way than STL or other formats. But it's up to you. Okay, now we're ready to bring it into Bambu. So make sure you have your proper printer selected here. I'm gonna go import. And then we're gonna choose our folder here. And we have our step file. Click OK here. And now we have our bookmark. Now, what we can do is we're going to choose our colors for printing. You can see here I have these colors already set up. And what I'm going to start doing is choosing each individual piece and making sure that they are the right colors here in the slicer. So I know that all these are either the outlines or the beard elements. So those are all black. Here we start getting into some of the other colors. So I remember this was white. So we're going to press the number 2 because that's the number that corresponds to the color that we have here loaded. And you can see our gnome starting to take shape here. This is going to be pink because that's what I have loaded. Same thing here and here. And here. And finally, these last 2 colors. And now we have our gnome. We're going to change some things here on our settings, but for now, let's go to preview. Now you can see on both sides, our gnome appears, and that's how he's going to print out. Now let's take a look at some of the things that I changed here. I did this mainly for quality reasons. It's particularly because these beard pieces are very thin, and sometimes you need special settings to be able to print detail without going into a smaller nozzle. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the things that I did here. First, the wall generator, I chose Arachne. And the minimum feature size I changed so that it's able to pick out some of those detailed sections in the model. The things I changed in strength here, I just chose different surface patterns and infill pattern. Here in the speed section, I changed the infill and outer and inner wall speeds. I did those because it allows the printer to print in a little bit more detail than if it was going fast. You get less artifacts happening. Same thing here for the top surface. And the only thing I did here was to make sure there was no brim printing here. And that's it. From here, we can just go ahead and print the model, and we'll have ourselves a nice Valentine's Day gnome bookmark. And here we have our finished bookmark. Looks real nice. You got the textured side from the textured plate, the smooth side from the top, and it's looking really, really nice. It was a great project. Hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.